To answer this question, let's quickly review what a clause is. It's something that has a subject and a verb. So John jumped would be a clause, an independent clause. Since John jumped, with a weak conjunction at the front, would be a dependent clause. Now, if we're going to join two independent clauses, then we want to use a semicolon or a comma fanboys. So I can say John jumped, semicolon, he fell, or John jumped, comma, and he fell. Now, what are the fanboys? Or, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. But there is a little gray area with words like while and even whereas. Looking it up online, some people called it fawn boys with maybe a W after the A and before the N. In any case, it's something of a gray area, but we can treat it just like two independent clauses with a comma fanboys between. So we have the independent clause at first. The lifespans of these fish vary by species. Well, that's just the first sentence. But the second part starts with a modifier. For instance, the Colorado whatever fish can survive for a little over a decade, comma, while the rough-eye rockfish boasts a maximum lifespan of about 2 centuries. So this is bending the rule a little so that we can treat while as if it were one of the fanboys' words, and that's okay. Now let's talk about why some of the wrong answers are wrong. The semicolons for two independent clauses, but here the second part is not independent. It can't be its own, starting with the word while. For the colon, the first part should be an independent clause, and the second part should be describing the first part. Here, the second part is not describing. It's, instead of describing the first part, it's going on to a new idea, which is different. So the first fish survives for a little over a decade. The second fish has a maximum lifespan of 2 centuries. So that's a whole new idea. It's not a description of the first idea. And last but not least, B is wrong because this is not an independent clause, like we've been saying. So we can't separate it apart from everything else with a period, just like we can't separate it with a semicolon. But in any case, the answer here is D.